All right, so you could.
So this back to we started a weed podcast.
Yeah, so we're just smoking on some fresh.
Yeah, hey yo,
fresh
Professor
Maven.
Gable, where you at, bro? Am I like too close like this, or is this like perfect?
No, it's fine.
This is good.
Am I too far if I'm like this?
No, it's fine.
What if I'm like way down here?
That's too far.
Okay, for sure. All right.
Throw you guys down a little bit. Yeah, no, everyone sounds good. All right. First, this is our first podcast. We're breaking through.
Yo,
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's good that
sir.
everyone
What up,
come
what up?
together. We are a media collective. No. We are coming today to try something different, try something new, talk about our backgrounds of what we're doing, talk about some gear, talking about being like videographer, photographers here in the Bay Area, and just hopefully have a good time with it and go from there. My name is Aaron. I've been doing video for about, I don't know, maybe like over a year or so. About a year. I've been doing photography for about 3 years or so. So I'm still new to it. I'm still learning. Still going.
Oh shit, I'm up.
Who are you, bro?
Yo, my name's Toshi Mata, aka Toshi. Honestly, like just been kind of getting this space, probably doing photography for, I don't know, I want to say since 2015, 16, and then kind of really got into this like new space of like concert event photography, honestly, like this year, and just kind of just excited about it and just rocking with y'all, and
Yes, sir.
excited to do this kind of crap, and let's keep going. So
Yeah. My name is Jordan, also known as partiesover.mlv. It's my IG. And I got into videography probably just from skating, really, making dumb videos with the homies, and just fell in love with it, fell in love with creating stuff. And then I started learning more video production in like high school and in college, and then just kind of ran with it, and then got into weddings, and then learned how to make a full wedding video with the music and everything. And I was like, bro, I need to start doing this more with shows and music shows and everything. And then honestly, I used to sneak into shows out here in the city, and I would just show up in my backpack and be like, oh, I'm here to film this event. And then security would go and grab somebody, and then they'd be like, hey, this is the video guy. And they're like, yeah, sure, come on in. And then that's how I made my way with like some artists and shit. So
See, that's hella
spazzed
ballsy.
out.
I don't know if I could ever do that. Like just.
But I just wanted to do that shit so bad that I was like, I got to get in somehow. I don't know anyone in the music
What
scene.
was the biggest show that you got in doing that?
I would say that or the first one. That's what I want to know too.
My first show ever, which was crazy, was when the Pack was performing. They're doing like the Pack is Back, and like not all the members were like together at that point. They all did like their own separate things or whatever. And I was like, in high school, like the Pack was everything, like Young L, like Stunna, Lil Uno,
Vans,
Lil B, like Bass God, like all that shit was like legendary to me. So I just showed up, I think at the mezzanine or mezzanine, I don't know how you say it. And I just showed up my backpack. I like went to dinner, went out here by myself, no homies, no friends. Nobody even knew I actually did it because I just wanted to show up and start doing shows. And then security was like, yeah, here's a wristband. And so I'm sitting there in the green room, and then they all come in. And then Stunna, he was like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, hey, man, I'm just the camera guy. Like, I'm shooting you guys tonight. He's like, oh, okay, right on, man. He's like, my bad. And then now, like, Uno, I can, like, call him right now on FaceTime and be like, yo, what up, dog? Like, they're, like, homies now, which is crazy. Just Uno, though, but nobody else, because I don't know what they're doing.
So how long did it take for you to cultivate those type of relationships? Was it just like that event, or did we be doing more stuff with them over time?
Shit, honestly, I feel like once, like, the artist kind of trusts you, like, you just kind of, like, I don't know, I stick to myself. Like, you guys see me at shows and shit. Like, I'm not, like, trying to ask people different questions or whatever. I'm just, like, I'll get whatever I can get, and that's it. And they kind of fuck with that, too. And I just kind of let them, like, hit me up after that. Because I'm like, hey, like, you know who I am. I gave you guys a dope video, like, because they fucked with the video, like, a lot after I sent it. And then they were like, yo, check out this video guy. Hey, check out this video guy. And then that led to DMP Music Fest. And then I met tons of artists that way.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm talking to everyone. I'm missing shots. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's like, because like,
yo, what's up?
it's hard to talk to people for me. Like, I'm not hard to talk to people, but you guys seem like you guys are more like outgoing than I am, and I'm kind of like a little tucked back a little bit. You feel me?
Yeah, I remember the first time I met you. Well, I don't remember I met you that day, but I remember seeing you videoing. It was like 415 day.
Oh yeah.
And then I seen you when we were at like the 18th City Station, whatever it's called, or 18th Valencia. And I just remember you're moving around so much.
Yeah, right.
And I was like,
I was like, man, multiple people.
I was like, this guy's everywhere. And there's just me just in one spot recording. And I remember Af was like, hey, can because the audio was so bad there.
Oh yeah.
That he was just like, can you just send me like a recap video? And I was like, I usually just record with the audio there. So like the audio I was sending was so bad. And I was like, I couldn't send a video. And then I saw you put out a video and I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. That's how you do it. I
remember you told me too. I remember you told me that too. Yeah.
It didn't click in my head, and I was like, damn, I've been doing this wrong the entire time.
That's all funny.
Yeah, I mean, the show that we all pretty much like. I mean, I knew Aaron before that too, but how we met you was through
that was at the Selsky concert.
Yeah.
That was the first time I met either of you guys. So
how'd you link up with the crew? How'd you link up with FNG then?
Man, it honestly just kind of started through, my homegirl Jordan, artist Jordan Jade, she is doing music right now. She like was doing this music video with Keek to Sneak, and so she's from Vallejo, and kind of went to high school with her, and she was just like, hey, like you should come out and shoot some photos of like behind the scenes stuff of like the music video. And I was like, man, for sure, let's go. So I was like, anytime to fucking see music and, you know, kick it with Keek, you know, why not? So went there and kind of just saw how the whole thing's kind of started going through, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I kind of want to get into that. So I said, let me know anytime you got another show. So she hit me up with the show. It was Dave Steezy's like networking show. It was out at Brick and Mortar, and Dave Steezy had like Frisco Baby, Aft was performing, my homegirl Jordan performed, and then so that's kind of where I met Aft, because Aft was up there with Callie. Shout out Callie too, and they were performing, and I was just like, man, these guys are just dope. Like, and they were up there with Powerful Pinoy.
They know how to perform, bro. They always put on a show every time.
Yeah, like they were up there with just like the saxophone guy, and then just those two, and then Af was up there solo, and it was just like, man, after his performance, I went up to him and I was like, Af, like, your shit was dope. Like, I really rock with that kind of music. Like, I really like that. Like, I'll send you photos after the show. So I sent him some photos, and honestly, probably just like 6. Like, it wasn't too many, because I was more there for my girl Jordan and Dave Steezy. And he liked the photos, and he's like, dude, you should come out to this next one. So I went out to this show out in like the BV Opera House. They had like Neff DeFaro. He's like, you should come and just check out Neff. And I was like, you know, from Vallejo, so it's like, dude, anybody from Vallejo I'm rocking with, you know, like definitely Neff for sure, you know, like so I went out to the show there, kind of shot some stuff, and then kind of sent out some video and some photos. And after that, he was like, dude, like I really kind of like rock with your stuff, like you should come out to this next thing. We're doing this big show with like Selsky. And I was like, dang, that's kind of big. Like I guess, thanks for, you know, inviting me out. I'll go, shoot, why not? And Af just was just like, yeah, get there, like just I'll let you know, get you backstage and all that stuff. And you know, I went there kind of wide-eyed. I didn't really know like what was really going to happen, because I was like, oh shoot, like it's a big concert, you know, like there's a bunch of people. And so I got there just waiting, just kind of felt like I just had my hands in my pockets the whole time. And then the show kind of started, kind of met you guys, and then after that show I sent him all the stuff, and he's like, dude, like these are sick, you have to keep rocking with us. And then then I just kept seeing you guys out, and I was like,
bro,
man,
I thought you were like hired by the event. Like when I first met you, I thought like you were like some like I'm not saying that you aren't, you feel me, but but I thought you were like already like Midway's like top photographer, and like the dude that runs around, and because I saw you running around too, so I was like, oh fuck, like I'm probably getting this guy's way. Oh my bad. I was like, you're probably getting. I'm probably getting this guy's way. Like he's probably thinking I'm hella amateur and shit, because I was just kept running around and shit. And then you're like, yeah, bro, like what's up, man? And like we just end up hella clicking, all of us, like out the gate.
I know, because I saw you, and you came out with I think you just bought this gimbal. And I was like,
I was trying to fucking figure it out.
And I was like, shit. I was like, should I go with that or handheld? Because I like the handheld, but definitely like I think getting the smoother shots was going to be something more like real. So I was like, should I get that? And I was like, no, I'm not going to spend my money right now. I don't really know like what this is. And then I don't know, like after being there though, I'm like, shit, like maybe I should get a gimbal and all that stuff. So.
I like using the gimbal now, because I was getting so tired holding the camera by itself. Just getting fatigued, and with the gimbal it
relieves a lot of weight too.
It relieves the tension, and it keeps it stable, like a lot more stable, especially when you're using more of a like wider lens.
Definitely,
because the lens that I have that's wider doesn't have like the stabilization in it, I think. Like the native lens. And so it does help smooth it out a lot more, but I'm learning how to use it, because my turns are like super sharp, and I'm like, all right, I need to learn how to like just be smooth
and stuff,
and shit like that. But yeah, I remember that event was like of like the highlight events that I've been at, especially with like apps and them.
What's your biggest event that you've like done? Like you've been like, oh shit, like I can't believe I'm here right now.
Probably the Southski was one of them. I would say the 415 day was pretty dope too.
Yeah, that was all fun.
I would say try and think. Probably the Southski by far. The first Southski one where I was like, oh shit, that one was
that was the one in brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar one.
Yeah.
That's when I was like,
I didn't go to that one.
so like I was there. Yeah, I was there by myself, and that one I couldn't believe I was like there because I was like I grew up listening to Southski stuff, so that was the first time.
Yep.
That one that was like
415 legend, bro.
that one like hit a different way, but then just being there, and there's a tiny stage, so being on stage with them, getting some horrible shots from them, learning.
Yeah, I know,
but I was
stage.
Just getting whatever you
I
can.
was learning.
Yeah,
I was learning, and then I realized like what to get there now because I didn't fucking know. So then, just being there, just being in the crowd, just moving around and stuff, it was really cool. So those two events probably were pretty sick.
Yeah.
But I also like some of the smaller ones, like when they did the one at I'm really into like craft beer and stuff, and the scene. And seeing like Habe, shout out to Habe with Mitch, they created a beer for Aft, and they did it at the Drake's Brewery in Oakland, and so they put a show there, and that was pretty fucking sick. That was a sick ass event, like far as like just seeing those two worlds like mesh and
the business
like,
side to the music side and everything too.
Just seeing that collab was like pretty dope, and I've been working with them for like over a year now, so like just seeing the progress of like how it's going and stuff, and the ups and downs, and for me learning, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I was learning going up and down, and now I just feel so much better to be around people that are doing it, because now I'm learning for every which way, and that's like
exactly.
I'm finding my foot of what I like to do, what I don't like to do, and learning how to continue to be creative and not be so like feeling like burnt out and feeling like I don't got like I have the imposter syndrome, so I'm constantly dealing with like, oh fuck, I don't belong. I don't know. I can't be doing this shit. I don't know how to. Then you see other people, and you see like Migs from like Larry June, or you see
that's
like.
What I'm saying. And when I first met him, that's how I felt too. So I was like, oh
crazy.
Man, like this fool, I already know he's gonna like shit on all my work, like you know.
It's hard.
And it's stuff like he's a photographer, so like obviously any of his photos were gonna be better than mine because I'm not a fucking photographer. But like, you know what I mean, like. It's just crazy to think that too, because I think that at every show mainly. One
of the hard things for me is when I first was trying to figure out like how to record it, because I was like, oh, do I do just like portrait videos, like portrait mode videos, and for like reels only, and do photography in between. So when I did the first couple of shows with them, like I remember the first show I did at a bar with them, it was something in Berkeley, I think, and I was like. That rush you get from it, that I still get from it, that I love. That's one thing I keep doing it because there's like a rush you get.
Yeah,
that
it's like a high, bro.
It feels like it's like a high you're chasing.
Yeah,
and it's like you perform too, but it's like a different performance. But like that,
it's that dopamine, bro, just rushing through, and you're like
those first couple ones, I was doing like video, photos, shit like that. But then I committed to just only doing videos, because then he would have like photographers come every once in a while.
Yeah,
but I was so committed to doing long form or shooting everything horizontal, because I wanted to do like a whole YouTube thing out of it.
Yeah.
And so it's just very much learning what to do, what not to do. And that being, I kind of like closed off like part of my creative side because I could have done more.
Yeah.
And so now thinking back on it, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have just.
That's the curse, man. The creative curse. You're like, I could have done this.
I wish I would have done more, because I could have learned how to do other things.
Underexposed, you know.
That's one of the problems. But other than that, it's been a really cool experience to learn and grow and see how it goes from there.
I think that's the beauty of like photography and videography, is that like you can continue learning. Like it just keeps going like forever and ever. You know, you're always a student to the game.
And I'm excited to see where it goes, because I'm excited to like keep linking up with you guys and like seeing you guys put out absolute fire. You've been on like absolute hot streak right now,
bro. His magazine spread, I keep telling ever since, I'm like, that shit is so fucking fire.
I didn't even think about doing anything like that. Like shit, like I'm seeing you guys do it, I'm like, dude, that's so fucking sick. I don't even think about like some of this stuff sounds stupid, but I never thought about just uploading the video by myself. I always thought like, I'm just gonna wait until the artist puts it out. I'm never like, what if they don't ever put it out? I was like, it's not.
You're like, oh, there it is, it's gone. You know?
If they don't use it, but then I would see like how you guys would just put it out there, and then the artists will be like, oh, that's cool, and then they ask for their own, they put their own out there, and I'm like,
exactly.
I didn't even know. Like, I just thought,
That's
like,
how you network. That's how you get
I
in.
never really learned how to network properly, or how to like learn how to manage my own media, like my file. Like, I didn't know how to properly upload, share stuff. Like, I never. Exactly. I just always waited for others or my share time. I was always busy, so like I would take too long to get it out and stuff. I just didn't find a flow to it. But learning from you guys, I'm like, that fucking spread was absolutely sick. Yeah, or the way you do like a reel, like a recap reel, and I'm like, where you did the one where you had it like the Google Map thing where I was like, oh fuck, I've never actually seen someone do it.
I literally got that idea from my fiance. She was like, because she just like looks at properties and stuff for like work all the time and like different parking lots and stuff. And I was like, and I saw it just like zoom across, because usually like, I don't know, for me, I haven't used Google Earth and I don't know fucking how long. And before you like click on a spot and then it like blacks out and then it just appears, but it doesn't fly like a drone, you know, like that animation shit. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I gotta use that for video immediately. But after we do this, I gotta show you guys this thing called Polycam. Remind me about that. Yeah, it's some fire fucking video shit too. I'll show you.
Okay.
No, that's
thanks, man. Yeah, that shit was. I was like, immediately, that was the first thing I ever used it for, and then everyone was like, at first it looked like too fake to me, and I was like, oh, I had some like a little bit of motion blur in it, and then it ended up like looking all right, but still like I want to use that shit again, just a little bit better, tweak it.
No, I've seen people do tutorials on it, but I've actually never seen someone like use it. And I'm like, oh, that's how you use it. That's how you put it in the thing. Where I was like, it is possible.
Easy, dude. It's so easy. Like I see like TikToks of like, this is so and so's property, and it's like someone famous's property, and they use it. I'm like, it still looks dope. Like it looks just like a drone.
Well, like the way I see you guys edit now, I see you like, I know I talked to you about it. Is like, you know the music of the people you're recording, so then you record like what that song you have in mind.
Yeah,
so
when you're in my head,
when you're editing, you already know what you're looking for. And I've never done that. I've just record and then I'll figure it out as time goes on.
Yeah, like before shows and stuff too. Like even for tonight, I try to like find a song I'm going to use for the edit that I'm going to use for the video tonight. So that way, like as I'm shooting, I'm like singing it in my head, and then I'm like, okay, cool, you know.
Yeah, no, that was the one thing I think I kind of really saw from Jordan was because like as a photographer, you know, with digital especially, like I'll you know, like I was telling you guys, like I'm kind of getting into stop motion stuff, so it's a lot of just like clicking the button and holding it down, and I'm getting a lot of shots. You know, sometimes I'll walk home with like 1,000 some photos, you know, from a
dude. Yeah, you saw my crazy video thing too.
But then this man, he's like, oh yeah, I like looked at his upload one time, and it was like, I don't know, 600, 700, and I was like, are those all videos? And he says, yeah, dude, like nothing more than like 10 seconds. Like sometimes I'll get longer. And I was like, fuck, man, like that's so much on like your memory space. Cause like for me, I'm thinking photos, even that I'll fill out a card sometimes, but that's with like photos and some like video clips here and there.
How the fuck do you do 710 second video? I would
that's what
never
I'm saying.
Be able to,
that's what I'm saying.
I can't edit that way. There's no fucking.
So I try to get like as much as I possibly can, but like I still keep like things in mind. So I'm like, say if the artist is like, you know, I don't know, like say if they're a Giants fan, right? And then someone is like in the audience and they have a Giants hat, like I'll add that to the clip, like thinking about the artist's personality and shit like that in mind. Or I'll go on like their IG and kind of like lightweight stalk and be like, okay, this is like, you know, their type of like style or whatnot. Or sometimes if I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make whatever I want and I think this looks dope and I'm gonna put it out, you know? But I just try to capture as much little things as I have, because I think I told you before, but I upload like regular like footage of like traffic and stuff like that. There's a website that I use, and I'll just randomly get like money, like $20, $60, $80, because people are buying stock footage.
Oh,
and stock footage is huge, bro. Like anytime you go anywhere on vacation, bring your camera, throw it in 4K, and then just dock it somewhere, record it for 30 seconds. That's all you need.
I had no clue people fucking do that. I know
drone stuff too. Drone stock footage, ton of it.
Yeah, like I knew the stock stuff for like photos and things like that. I just never really thought about it for videos. But I mean, again, I still talking about how you work though. It's still just crazy to me. Like, you know, because again, like I think for photos, like I'm sitting there looking for like the moment, and I think for like photos and videos, like I think the cool thing about your videos is like you're capturing the moment before the moment even, you know what I mean? So like when I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, like there's the clip, like that perfect one. You're like, yeah, I got that whole thing like recorded before it happened and after. And so like that kind of like clip is just like, dang, like those are what like kind of stands out, I think, in a lot of these videos, is because I have so many like my own like 10-30 second clips, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just got the artist, and then I'll go back and review, and I'm like, this is unusable crap. Like like yeah, sure, they're rapping or singing or whatever, but it's like nothing that's like, oh shoot, like that looked like a moment. It's like, no, that's just them rapping and cool, you know? So it's like being able to capture so many moments, I think like that's I think what you do so well at is capturing a moment where you're just like, oh shit, like I remember that, like that was cool. Like
I learned that from weddings, bro. Like I have to capture moments at weddings, like you have to, you know? And you have those like little things where you set up certain shots or whatnot, and I think that like that's just burned into my skull because I've done so many weddings that like anytime I go out and shoot, I'm looking for like what the bride would want, but like kind of what like the audience would want and what, you know, what's cool.
I don't think people realize you're one of the best videographers out here in the Bay Area. Like I for sure.
I'm not the best one.
You're one of the best ones out here. I'm telling you.
I've been watching. I appreciate that, man. But
I'm watching some of these other ones, and I'm just like, they're just not on that level as far as like being meticulous in your process and like how you, way you network yourself, way you film for the audience of the person that you're going for.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of great videographers out here, but they are in their niche. Like they have their person that they're doing that for.
Yeah.
Whereas like I see people that are like in the space too, and it's like some of the stuff. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just not. It's like kind of like all the same. You know.
Yeah.
It kind of all
like repetitive. A little
looks
bit.
kind of repetitive. Looks the same. It kind of looks like things are not. You know how trends are happening.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are very like trendy,
mm-hmm.
and it's like that kind of turns me off to like.
Yeah. If you see the same thing over and over again, it's easy. It's like a CapCut edit. Like no offense to CapCut, take this out of that.
Take this out of the film burn in it, or they keep putting like the overly VHS like.
Yeah, I mean like I use VHS and stuff too. We were just talking about that too, but like when it's like. I think it just pertains to like the certain artists or whatnot, but if they put like too much effects on it, like some people like it and some people don't, you know what I mean? But yeah, I experiment, dude. Like I see kind of like, oh, like I'll listen to the song and I'm like, this is how I feel with the song or how I envision a music video for the song. Even if it's for like a show performance, I'm like, I think a music video or I think of like a movie preview or something like that. Like what's going to kind of pull the audience in and then like keep them for another at least minute.
Definitely. What's your process? How do you
do photo
shoot
for
like 700 photos and just go back and find out which one is
Tell
working?
Us about, how about breakdown like where did the idea for the spread came out?
Honestly, the whole spread thing came out.
Is that what you call it, or is it like a?
I mean, shoot, I don't know what you'd call it. I think there's like it's called carousel sometimes on Instagram. Okay. It's like whatever it is, but I mean, honestly, like that kind of happened because. I know it's kind of popular. I think like, making a carousel of photos, like, so when you swipe it, like you could see the continuation of it and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, like I grew up, watching, like reading a bunch of magazines. This is kind of like what it was for me. I liked looking at pictures and, more than reading the words and stuff like that. So magazines were a thing for me. So kind of always looking at that. And then when I was first kind of doing photography, I was doing commercial real estate stuff and, just putting like titles on top of that for like to kind of advertise like a building and things like that. So it's kind of where it started. And then, I don't know, I just kind of did it. Somebody was like, oh, that was kind of dope. And I kind of just stuck with it. And I think like right now it's kind of building something. I think a lot of artists have kind of liked it just because it's something a little new, and it just kind of for them, I think it gives them kind of an idea of like maybe what it looks like to be on a magazine. Like I don't know if that's their thought, but that's at least the hope for me is like if I were to make a magazine, I'm hoping that this is what it would look like. And, but yeah, I don't know, it's trying to show pictures in a different way. And I think with Instagram and all these social media platforms, it's just kind of hard because everybody's just sharing the same stuff, and it's like, how do you make it look a little different, right? Because it's
how do you bring photos back to Instagram?
Exactly. I was gonna say that's it, because I think when in like a digital world, dude, like people are gonna start wanting to go back to like paper and physical stuff too, because like everything, I mean, streaming, all that stuff is all digital.
That's why I shoot film.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Honestly, that's
and like this idea right here is like something that like maybe in early 2000s everyone's gonna be like, oh, like everyone's doing that, you know what I mean? But like no one's doing it anymore. And then now you bring these photos out to shows and stuff. People will be like, fuck yeah, bro. Like, this is dope. Like, something physical from tonight, you know?
Yeah, that's why I'm a huge proponent of bringing my Instax like out, because I love the physical copy of it. Because even though it's not like high quality, anything like that, but when you take a photo of someone and you give them that physical form, or if you, a lot of times, I haven't done it recently, but I used to do it a lot. I used to get people to sign it. Like, can you sign this for me?
Yeah.
And you just see the glow in their face. It's just like, yeah, because I respect your art, and I really would like,
that's dope.
You know?
Yeah.
You take this picture for me.
And then you get to keep it too. And if you frame it, like if they blow up, and then you go and meet him again and be like, hey, remember I took this photo for you at, New Parish?
It's a cool,
some shit.
It's a cool time. Or like,
honestly,
I take for,
that's super dope.
That's one thing I like about having that physical media point of just like, just having a little piece of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you go on vacation and stuff, like you want to take a piece of that great moment or that great trip or whatever. You want to take something back home. So that's why people buy merch or whatever, you know what I mean?
I just came back from Mexico and I bought a little sombrero that's a 49er.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's fucking stupid.
People buy shot glasses that are just like whatever, and it's like that little tiny thing, like photos, means a lot to people because they can just put it somewhere or up on their fridge or some shit,
No, I mean, honestly, real quick, I'm gonna put this cut scene so that way Aaron can cut it here. But I mean, honestly, like something that I think that, I mean, again, I'm just gonna say this idea on camera, but you could cut it obviously. But something too I was just thinking about, like, as we're just talking about this, like, is if you like you printed these photos, right? And then whether you printed photos of the artist or printed pictures of people, letting people know, like, hey, like when you walk in the door, like I'm taking photos. If you want something, like, come to me at the end of the show. Then you could also like have it to where, like, if we are at a smaller venue, like let's just say we went to that Ozer show, like you're printing out some fire like film photos, like you could instantly print those, put them on the table and be like, yo, like I'll sell these for like $10, and then Ozer after the show could, hey, if you want, you could take this to Ozer after the show, get it signed, and now people are taking home a $10, they pay $10 for it, and then Ozer blows up, and now
it's like a meet and greet with like an instant printout, what I mean?
Meet
and greet with an instant printout is a sick idea.
I think if like you could do something like that, where now it's like you have your own concession
$1 million idea right there, y'all.
Yeah, something, like
if y'all try to take it, you heard it here first.
At least hundreds of dollars worth of idea. Yeah, Pink Lab Podcast. You heard it here first. But no, honestly, because I'm thinking, like, because you're right though, like I think there's definitely stuff that's like that can go back, right? Like this whole world, like we live in like a cyclical world where like things just come back around, So I think with like digital, like going back into like, you're saying VHS or going back to grainy stuff, like everybody likes that kind of stuff. So that I do think like the next part is like, okay, well, we like the grainy stuff, but like I want that printed because it looks cooler, and so it's like if we could start getting stuff printed again, and I don't know, like maybe it does, because like I know even just I was just watching an artist make his own magazine, and you're just like, shit, like you subscribe to my whatever Patreon, because I know some artists like have a Patreon or whatever, you subscribe to my monthly thing, like now you either I'll send you a magazine every month, you'll get like access to free music, like
subscriptions,
so
that's what I was showing you guys earlier, like Pamplemousse, like one of the local, Nora, she started the Pamplemousse magazine business out here in San Francisco, local artists out here, local film photographer, and it's nothing but film photography artists that are contributing to that magazine, and I think they're like on already issue 7 or something like that. So she's moving. She's moving, but she's moving using like photographers from all over the place, and it's like just to see that work of like creatives coming together, and just being like, oh, that's something that more people should start doing. I understand magazine and print is not in its heyday anymore, but just doing that on a local scene would just see the actual
it's something physical, because I mean, if the internet goes out, bro, there goes everything digital, what I mean?
Well, yeah, what if one of the apps goes away?
Exactly. Remember when Instagram crashed that one day and it was gone for 24 hours?
What happens is gone. What do you do with your work?
Remember, right? we've all missed a Juvenile show because of the internet.
Exactly.
So I'm saying, like, the internet could definitely ruin a lot of people's days. That's all I'm saying.
The internet shut down and people can't fly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's crazy.
I was thinking about, like, I was hoping to get one.
It's a little closer, I think.
Front?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Should I?
Just like one.
Oh, let me turn that actual. I can't even see.
We didn't hit record.
I know, right? It was just like talking our shit.
Oh, it's recording.
All right, on.
For sure.
Where was I before? Oh yeah, I probably wasn't even on frame because I was back here for a minute. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll sit forward like this.
So, yeah, you could step in a little bit.
I thought you were in frame the entire time. I'm in frame, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you're sitting there, like lean back, like where you were.
Me?
Yeah. No. Well.
Right
this
here.
is cool. Yeah.
I'm in frame.
This is right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think you're right though, because I was farther back in the corner because his pillow's here now.
Next time I'll flip it over. My bad.
I was not even tripping at
Hey,
all.
my name is Toshi Mata, and I came out here from Vallejo, and I just
Yeah, it's not all over.
yeah.
It's always opening a podcast is always like the hardest because you just don't know what to say. But then
Yeah.
once you start doing it, it just
Bro,
becomes second
flows.
nature.
Yeah, like I already feel pretty comfortable now, but also because I'm hot, so yeah.
This is honestly like a really cool representation of like a local media scene, like behind like how you posted I think you put a comment, the BTS boys.
Yeah,
that's basically
the BTS boys.
That's exactly how I.
Podcast should be that right there.
That's it.
That should be the name, bro.
That's how I feel. Like I like being behind the scenes, and I feel like people see a lot of the stuff that you do when the artist posts like your work and stuff, but there's also a lot more to it, and I feel like it's cool to show your work. And someone that I like for a moment in time, I was like trying to do video or do editing for them, like editing their videos for them, and they like took me on and they showed me for a few months, but then obviously it didn't work out, whatever. But the guy's a really cool dude, and one of the things he was always preaching was like show your work. You got to show your work. There's like some book that he was super into, and it was talking about like
snowball effect, man.
Yeah.
Like, you got to post it. You just got to put it out.
That's so hard for me sometimes. Though. It's so hard for me to
because you're putting your work out there for everyone to be like yes or no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one likes rejection.
Yeah.
No one likes a failed post. You know, we were just talking about that too. Like when I video I posted, I'm like barely got any likes or anything like that, and it was recently too. And then I was like, I'm just gonna remove it. But like it is what it is. You're not gonna always be like straight hits.
But it also depends on the time. Like, you might have posted at a time where people were not engaging on Instagram at that time. Or maybe there's a world event going on where everyone's focus is not there.
Exactly. The Olympics.
So something I try to, during the football season, don't post during the football games.
Yeah.
That's just one thing you don't do. You don't post at
any big games.
Any big games. Or you just things like that. Just
Friday night, everyone's out and about. No one's on their phones. Everyone's mingling and trying to just drink and shit.
So there's like some of those things. So but one of the things, because on Instagram, I think you could take off the likes and stuff. And I've always thought about like, maybe I should do that. I think it will be better if like, because I feel like it would diminish what you're doing. But then I was like, nah, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, like, why am I caring if I wouldn't be sad if like one person like that, it seems low, but like imagine you're going out and you're like selling your art and like one person buys, at least one person, that's one person that
and it's all perspective too, because that one person can lead you to like this huge door that you never thought was even possible. You know what I mean? That one view or that one like, they could just send you a DM and be like, hey, like I fuck with you, let me change your life.
Well, honestly, that's all it took with Aph. So I did a podcast with Aph on the other podcast I did. I still do with Adam. We do like Cuddy combos. Check it out. Well, we
plug.
We interview Aph, and that was like for the first time really talking to him and stuff. And then through that, just that one and like just meeting him. He was like, "Hey, do you want to come through and do some, creative work?" And then from there, it just started transitioning to more and more, and I started meeting more and more people. And then just from the podcast, I just met so many people, and it was never through like anything I ever posted. Yeah, nothing I ever posted was like that got me to knowing it. It was just like meeting one person in person.
So it's all it takes,
having a personal encounter with someone, and that's how it worked from there. Like how you said, like, hey, you met him that day, and how like.
When I met Say,
it's crazy.
Because Say was the first person I met out of the group, and I met him like randomly. He saw me at I forgot the kid's name. Shows Kari. Kari's like a singer rapper. He's super dope. But I went out there with my boy Zach, and then ended up shooting that. And like the club was like maybe 50 people, bro. Like it was kind of like, my bad, Kari, if Kari's ever watches this. But like there wasn't that many people that showed up. I still performed and everything, so I was like, let me make an edit. Like, he has a dope song, and like his music's dope. And so I put it out, not thinking anything of it, and like it didn't do great in like views or anything like that. But Say saw it, and then he DM'd me and he's like, hey, like this shit's dope. Like, come out to one of my shows or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. Well, that show was one of my biggest shows that I've been to. Was Kalon For Real. And like I get there and I'm like, oh shit, this is like a big ass stage. And I was like, damn, this is a big ass area. And all of a sudden the people started flooding in, and that was the biggest show.
Where was it at?
Berkeley. It was at Berkeley Theater. Berkeley Theater, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that was earlier this year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it was Manny. But yeah, I mean, it's just you meet one person, and that one person can take you to all these different things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, as a coach, you know, in sports and stuff like that, I mean, it's the Wayne Gretzky quote, you know, like you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
Right. So if like you don't
Facts.
try to go out and say hello to that one person, or you feel like you're too like scared or too anxious to like go make that introduction, like
Yeah, it's cool to try. Like as long as you try, and if you fail, whatever. You
Absolutely.
know? Try again.
Like I don't know how many times I've had doors open for me just because I was just like hello.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean.
real,
Like that's all it took was hello. My name is, and then
They're like, hey, you're cool. All right, right on.
This is part of the podcast where I want to talk about what gear that we use. And so
Okay.
just right off the bat, we all use different camera bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all use different, sometimes we use different lenses, but we all capture something like very uniquely,
Yeah.
you know, different. And I don't know if it has to do with the gear, but I know that gear does play a role in what you're trying to do. I know a lot of people say gear doesn't
Sure.
matter, and that there's some point to that, but when you're doing like concerts indoor, it definitely does matter, because if your camera can't keep up with
Yep.
like
Yeah.
Your
that,
lens.
like with that,
Lighting,
there's
all
a
that.
really big struggle. So what do you shoot with?
So I have a Sony A7S III. That's my main camera, and I have a couple of Canon 5D Mark IVs that I'll use for like other stuff or whatever. But yeah, that's my go-to. And then 1635, 2.8, and I go out there and just use that for everything. Honestly, all my videos that you see on my Instagram, all my recents and stuff. I have a 360 also, the Insta360
Yeah, that was
X4.
pretty. I like how you do work with that.
Yeah. I fuck with that thing tough, bro. I love that thing. It's so fun.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are like anytime I'm out here doing stuff, those are the cameras I go to.
For sure.
What about you?
You know, hashtag Canon gang out here, because I know everybody seems like
Sony.
everybody's using Sonys, it seems like, but yeah, I got a Canon R8. Again, kind of doing more photos is kind of what I got that camera for, you know, and then it did videos, you know, when I was doing the reviews. I got it because I used to have like a Rebel T3i. That was the first camera I really kind of got into with. Then I had an 80D for a minute. But that broke on me. So then I told myself, when I get a new camera, I want one that has like low light capability. So got one. You know, it was like a full frame one that I first time having one. So just kind of seeing how all that kind of worked, really just kind of learn, you know, exactly how that kind of worked. And but yeah, you know, I shoot a lot of prime like lenses, just because that's kind of like where portraits kind of came from. I think just portraits that's used better on prime lenses. So I have a 50, I have a 35, but I'm kind of all over as far as like what the lenses are, because I have a Canon 50 millimeter 1.4, and then I have a 1.8 Sigma 35 prime lens, and then I go to a Tamron for a 2.8, and it's a 70 to 200. So got that one used, but it was just because I wanted to kind of get into a little bit for sports and kind of get a little bit of zoom, just to kind of see like
Close-ups and everything.
you know, but
sure.
it's honestly been
Those portraits.
for like events and like concerts, it's honestly been one of my favorite lenses, just because
You don't have to get too close.
you don't have to get too close, so it allows you to kind of get like the crowd shots that kind of make it look like there's more people than there
Yeah,
is,
you
know,
can get through the crowd.
Does
Yeah.
it get like really good compression? Like you just get like
Yeah.
a different like field depth of field
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff?
for sure. I was actually like kind of surprised with it, and you know, again, I see a lot of people shooting with prime lenses at concerts. Just I think, for whatever reason, I think it's just because prime lenses do bring in different light and whatever. But yeah, I mean, having that zoom lens is honestly just, I think those are the shots that usually artists are like,
Is
man,
it a
those
fixed
are cool.
aperture on that?
Yeah. So it's all 2.8 all the way through.
That's
So
killer right there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
So I mean, I'm trying to get another one that's gonna go down to like a 1.8, but
You gotta get the L lens or the
yeah.
Canon. What is it? With the red wing? What's
with the red rings
What's their
and stuff
prime
like that.
lenses?
Yeah, I think it's the L's, but
The L. Ooh, it's probably like
yeah.
$3,000.
yeah. So
yeah, dude, all of those are.
trying to save some money, but yeah, you know what I mean. I think it's cool, because I think what people like about the photos that I send them is because I have the 3 different focal lengths, and kind of ranging from 200 all the way back to 35. Like, it looks like I'm 3 different shooters, you know. So I think they're all kind of like, dang, like this is cool. Like you just have a variety rather than just like oh, you only have like one shot or one type of shot. So that's been the kind of cool thing. But it's a lot of like, oh shoot, like switch it real quick, and then
that's just the life we live, man.
I see you working. I see you working.
I gotta be like
swap up them lenses quick.
I'm waiting for you to have the harness so you can have like
that's what I'm saying. I gotta be like Benny Blanco. Shout out Benny though. But Benny, I saw him at the I Am Sue Fest or the I Am Summer Fest, and he had a little harness, and I was like,
yeah, his work's dope too.
Dang, like, I need to get there because I definitely like don't like carrying around my bag to just kind of keep switching them out. But
I'm like when I'm doing my stuff, I carry my big camera bag. I have all the shit around me because I'm trying to do video.
Yeah,
I'll do video and then I'll have like my phone up instead of having a stupid like a adapter to my camera, which I should just do that. So I don't have to worry about doing both. And then sometimes I'll be holding. I shoot on the Lumix S5 too, so it has good stabilization.
Oh yeah, tell us about your gear.
It has good stabilization, so like I can hold it like with one hand, and I'll bring out my film camera and I'll be like trying to do both. Like,
and people approach you too. They're like, "Hey, like, what is that right there?" And you're like, "You shouldn't film too." Like, you get hella compliments about it all the time.
People really enjoy that. So yeah, I do shoot with the Lumix. I mean, I started off with the Canon M52.
Okay.
So M50 Mark II. So it was like a APC camera. It had a 30-minute time limit. It was It was like what was the mount on that? Whatever the mount was, the M mount. They discontinued that mount. So or those lenses. So there's only like I think 6 in the whole range. So I was like,
they're all used.
It's really tiny.
Still good.
The battery life's good. Canon had really good colors.
They
had really, but I just didn't have options with the lens mount, and then the APC. I was like, I really wanted a full frame, so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was really wanting to get Sony FX3 or FX30. Sorry, I wanted to get an FX30
or the FX3. I mean, either one. Those are still
FX3 was way out of my budget, so I was like, fuck. FX30 was like that.
FX3 is gonna be on my next cam for sure.
The reason why I didn't get the FX30 is because it was a little bit more out of my budget, and I wasn't getting a lens with it. And so I wanted to get the Lumix GH6, which is the Micro Four Thirds one.
Oh, okay.
Because it has like crazy stabilization.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have good low light capabilities, and the autofocus on the Lumix has been horrible for years. And so the S5 II.
Does it just focus like pretty slow? I've never used it.
It just doesn't have face detect auto.
Oh,
so it just has like
I know. I feel super lucky. Mine's just like deep.
Yeah, Sony is amazing, but like Lumix was so bad that you could just be recording and it would just go off and then go back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right,
you gotta turn off the autofocus.
That stopped me from there. And then I looked at the S5 II, and at the time the S5 II was like $200 cheaper, and it came with the stock lens and whatnot, and it was full frame, didn't have a recording limit, and had good low light capabilities.
Yeah.
And it was full frame, whereas the FX30 was not. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna save money. I'm gonna get a full frame. I got the Lumix, and I didn't realize how expensive the lenses were. And I was like, fuck, Sony lenses are a lot cheaper. I should just got a Sony camera.
Which is still saying a lot because Sony lenses are still mad expensive. So that just tells you how expensive.
Well, the third party like Sony lenses are pretty affordable.
Yeah, they are.
Whereas like the Lumix ones, there's not a lot of options. Whereas Canon has a lot more options too, and then you could throw on an adapter.
All camera gear is expensive.
I have a lot of older lenses, like vintage lenses, so I just need to buy adapters and play around with them more.
Yeah, because I mean, most of the stuff that you have back here, like I don't know if you can zoom in and post or whatever, but like all the stuff you have back there, those lenses can still work on your Sonys and everything. You just need the adapter. And those will give you that same kind of like vintage feel in different styles and stuff.
I do have
those are sick.
I gotta invest in more because I have a old vintage like a Canon 50 1.4.
Oh yeah,
like a 50 prime, and then I have
that's why
I have a couple I have a 24 2.8 prime. I have a like just random ass lenses that I could use for the setting, but for when I use digital, I'm kind of primarily now focusing on video only, and when I'm doing photos, I'm focused on just using my film camera because that's obviously the only thing they could do.
Yeah.
And so I'm battling myself creatively of like how I want to
use those lenses.
Yeah, how do I adjust in between? Because I see you be out there just switching lenses like crazy.
Yep,
just flipping through
left and right.
And then I see Jordan's like everywhere, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna like when we first all worked together when we did Selsky, I literally stayed on stage in the back the entire time.
For real? I thought you went down in the pit for a minute.
Never went. I didn't go in the pit.
I could have sworn I thought I saw you in the pit.
That's
hella funny.
I didn't go to the pit once.
Media pit.
Yeah.
So then I look down and I see you guys just drumming. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna let them do that because I don't have the lens or the I just didn't want to go down there. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna stay over here. I was enjoying the music so much. I was like,
sometimes like it's like intimidating because like I don't know where I can and can't go. So like when we are just like roaming around, like at the IMC or IM Summer Show, we both were in the media pit for what, like a good hour, I think. And then we go out because we're trying to get crowd shots and, you know, just different angles and everything. And as soon as we try to go back in, like at the same time, without even knowing, he went on one side and I went on the other side. And then security was like, nah, you guys can't come in, to both of us.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, we were just in here for an hour. Like, you saw us, like, up in here, whatever. So I was like telling the dude, he's like, nope, sorry, you gotta have a white wristband. Well, they didn't tell us. But luckily, like, they're hella cool and they're like, oh yeah, like, let's call somebody or whatever. But like,
yeah, shout out Dave Steezy.
Yeah, bro.
Dave Steezy came in clutch on those.
Dave Steezy, bro, hooked us up with like VIP pass to get on rides, like fucking instantly. We had like
he's a guy.
Yeah,
so shout out Dave, dude, your boy.
So how did you guys get? So what lately? What have you guys been working? Like what shows you been doing, and how did you guys get into the IM Summerfest? I know this is the second one he's done. I remember the one he did last year.
No, so I haven't done IM Summer or anything, but yeah, I mean.
I think that was the second. I think that was the second one at Great America. Yeah, but I think he said he's been doing it for like 7 years. But I mean, I Am Summerfest. Like, again, I got very lucky with my homegirl Jordan.
That was all him, man.
I thought this was your second time doing it.
No, it was my first time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was. Homegirl Jordan. She again knows Dave Steezy through stuff, and then so again shooting through his network stuff, and then I went out to this like other like little like Santa Cruz show for this other guy, DJ Mike Murda. Another shout out to that guy because he's a dude who like makes a lot of good stuff. Like he makes like stickers, bags, like anything like you want like apparel wise. Like it's crazy how that guy has it. So shout out Mike Murda. And then but yeah, no, so met Dave Steezy through that. I gave him a ride home after this like little beach like concert thing, and kind of just really got to talk to him then. And he was like, bro, you got to come out to I Am Summerfest. And I was like, yeah, but I said I got my boy Jordan who shoots videos too if you need video stuff. And he says, dude, bring him along. And so I was like, Jordan, you want to come to this? And
I said,
he was like,
bro.
yeah, let's go. So
let's do it.
And then just kind of he got Jordan and I both like little passes to get in there. And then
bro, we just hopped on rides and shit after sound check. Like we got sound check footage, and then he was like, all right, you guys want to go fuck around? We're like, all right.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was one of the craziest, like, for me, like, being in this kind of a short time, like, it was one of the most fun days, like, for sure. Like,
yeah, it was all fun.
To be part of it, because there was just times, like, we were riding on the rides, I just had my GoPro out and stuff, and then, you're out there for, we shot rehearsals or whatever, we rode rides, and then, I don't know, we were out there for, like, 4 or 5 hours already, and I, like, looked at Jordan at one point, and I was like, Jordan, we still got to work today.
Yeah, we still have all tonight to do
we still got to do all the shit. So
because we shot stuff also too, like through the park. Like we shot, he shot Skipper, shout out to Skipper, and so I mean, we did basically each did a video of people, and then we kind of roamed around, and then shot I Am Summer after.
See, that's one thing too that I have not invested. I don't have a backup battery for my camera.
Okay.
I don't have a backup camera.
Okay,
I don't have a battery.
I
was just thinking in my head, I'm like, how the fuck you guys last all day?
Yeah, no, I have.
And I bring my charger too because I'm like, bro, if I wear down batteries, just because sometimes batteries are like randomly just go out, like they're just old or whatever. So I bring my charger everywhere too, just in case.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, I need a V mount or something so I could just keep my
slap on like 4 or 5 battery pack.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing I need to get is I need to get a cage that I could build out some stuff because I definitely want to get like a thing that has a big
small
battery
rig,
pack.
Man. Small rigs are where it's at.
I have a cage for mine. I just bought a small rig for that, but ever since I started using the my gimbal, I haven't put the cage on there because I was like,
yeah, because you got your gimbal.
I'm like, I don't need the cage. So right now I'm like trying to figure out, do I want the gimbal?
I do not like using the gimbal. Like I'll use it if it's like I get booked for something and they want to do like some pullback shots or something like crazy, but I've never used it at a show ever.
I don't know. I think I'm like leaning toward that direction because that's like it's just more comfortable for me. But I was like, if I build out a cage, it might be comfortable too. So
yeah. I think it's just it's kind of like building
like
out.
It's whatever preference is. Like everyone's like, oh, like if you're really doing it, you need this, and this, and it's like, nah, bro. Like whatever you feel comfortable using, and as soon as you like put it out there and people like it too, I mean, just make what you like and build what you like.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember I seen like this one videographer when I was at a show one time, and they had like
ass rig thing.
They had a
like-
rig and everything, and they had like a light on theirs and everything. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, I need a rig. I need a light. And blah, blah. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't need neither of that.
Yeah,
I was like
yeah.
just in front, just recording with my handheld,
Yep.
just like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I was like,
just-
the video came out cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've also seen people too like show up to shows with reds. Like you've seen the big
Oh
red.
yeah,
map.
why would you use a red?
Dude, like sometimes I'm like, all right, so if it's like a big production thing or they're doing like a music video at
Yeah.
the concert, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I've seen
yeah,
that
yeah.
too. So like that makes sense. But I've seen like normal videographer, not normal, but just regular videographers. I'm not trying to sound like I'm talking shit on the podcast, but you know,
Yeah, it's all right,
and
talking
then
shit.
they have a red, so I'm like, man, they're gonna put out some dope shit. And then I go and see the video, and I'm like, looks like something I would make. Like it
Well-
looks like my camera made that. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, wow, like I'm surprised.
Well, when I said earlier,
It's not all about gear.
The one I said earlier, gear does matter, but there's certain points like that where it really doesn't,
It
because
doesn't,
you
yeah.
can have the best gear, but if you don't know how to shoot a scene, if you don't know how to properly
Yeah.
put your settings, if you
Yeah.
don't know how to edit what you're trying to do,
You
like
don't know
you said,
angles of people, something that's flattering.
You can film with the best thing out there, and you're gonna put out something that's like
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
on an iPhone could outdo you.
No, I mean,
easy.
it's,
I mean, there's
Easily.
people that got complete like company deals from just shooting a whole entire movie on their iPhone.
That's wild.
And then they're like, let me upload it to YouTube. It went viral, got millions of views, and then production agencies were like, hey,
yeah,
hey,
but no,
hey.
the craziest
No?
thing that you and
It's
I
wild.
talk about, like that me and Jordan talk about, is watching people who even just upload stuff like through in their C log. You know, like not even like color
Grading
grading
it.
or
Yeah, they
nothing.
don't color
I've
grade
never,
nothing,
so that's
yeah.
one thing I've never shot like in log before ever.
Mm.
Really?
I've always shot like the colors that come on the camera. Like
Oh,
I,
okay.
I just shoot default. Like I'd never, like I'm gonna be honest too. I never shoot manual. I shoot program mode all the
Yeah,
time.
so-
Like I don't
but-
switch my settings.
Hey, at least
like
you,
I
at
was
least
say-
you admit it.
Like I
At
was
least you
saying, I
admit it.
don't
Some people
switch
are like,
settings.
I do
I don't
manual only, and I
don't
use
give a
auto
fuck.
fucking 24/7.
I just
I'm
use
like,
I use auto all the time, but like I don't like sometimes. That's why I have a hard time saying like, oh, this is what I'm because
But
I'm
in
not
order to
like
be a
I'm
pro
not.
though, you like a
I'm
lot
not
of people
in
are
that
like
level.
they'll shun you if you're like, oh, like only use
Yeah.
manual, and it's like honestly,
I've
man,
heard
like
that a lot.
at the end of the day, like we were just talking about this today, like people are walking around like with your VHS cameras and stuff, like shitty quality. They're not
Yeah.
C logs or V logs or
Yeah.
B logs. You know what I mean?
Do
Like
you shoot in log?
Yeah,
See, I
yeah,
have
yeah,
no,
yeah,
I don't even know
S-Log
how
2,
to.
yeah, S-Log 3,
yeah, I have.
S-Log 3.
Yeah, Canon's it's like Canon C log or whatever.
Did you
but-
learn like pretty fast how to do it?
Man, I honestly like. Well, I started when I first got this R8. I was doing like just press and record with the movie stuff and recording it. But when I kind of started looking into it, I was like, everybody shoots or professionals shooting C log kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, let me try that. And then I had Premiere Pro already, so it was just really kind of learning how to like color grade and stuff like that. And to me, that felt pretty easy, like because it was the same kind of as like color grading or fixing up photos. So the look that I want is typically the same actually as my photos to my videos. So that's what's cool for me is because like my photos will look like my videos. So like
I mean, if you know how to do that and you have a formula down, like fucking do that. Because I would keep telling myself I want to shoot in log. I want to use is it DaVinci or what is the
DaVinci
I want to
Resolve.
use DaVinci
Yeah.
because I want to learn how to color grade. And then
You could do that within the programs too.
I
Like
try
what's
that.
mine,
I
Final
use-
Cut.
I use Final
Use it.
Cut. I don't know how
Yeah.
to. I don't know how to fucking color grade. I don't know how to shoot in log.
Bro, I will
don't
show
know how
you.
to-
Yeah, I
I will
was
show
saying-
you
I-
everything.
It's so weird that I don't know how to use manual settings on the video, but I know how to use manual when I'm doing photography. Like I shoot all manual when I do film photography. Most of the time, unless I'm shooting like on a pony shoot. Other than that, it's all manual. So like I know how to shoot without using a light meter sometimes
Yeah.
because I'm
Okay.
just used to like what I'm used to the camera.
You like
I
what you
kinda-
see and-
I know what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. I
Yeah.
know how like I'm gonna like shoot. So, but I just can't fucking figure it out for video. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah, I
just-
mean,
You just gotta spend a
don't try.
couple of
I
time.
say
just doing
YouTube it, dude. YouTube
yeah,
it.
exactly.
'Cause I'm telling you,
When in
'cause-
doubt, YouTube it out, bro.
Yeah, because I know I learned that whatever it's like the 180 rule or 360 rule for video and like shooting for concerts. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever your
Your shutter angle?
Yeah. Then you like double it up on your
Yep.
f-stops and stuff like that or whatever.
For photos?
But no, for
video?
video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do it for
so
audio.
so you like go in like 60 frames per second. You shoot it at like 1/125,
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I mean, like there's like some of those things that you learn from YouTube that
Depending
I've like
on all those
learned,
crazy
like,
lights that are going on in the freaking
Yeah, I was gonna
stage,
say, that's
bro.
another thing though,
that's
too,
what's
like-
scary. Like that's why I haven't done it because I'm like, how do you keep switching settings when you're going from like a light to dark?
That's what I'm doing, bro. Like when
Yeah.
I'm recording video, my whole dial thing, I'm just going back and forth with the settings, changing it. I'm like looking at it, seeing where it's at, seeing where my meter's at. I'm like, all right, cool, record. And then I'll record for a little bit. And sometimes I'll just keep recording even at past 10 seconds, and then I'll drop it down. Like I'll make it, like I'm fucking losing my train of thought right now.
That's all right.
I'll drop my settings down to like underexposed or overexposed.
Yeah.
So I'll do like 2 takes, and I'll do like a normal or even 3 normal over
you
under.
Like do layers like how people do photography, like they do like an overexposed.
Yeah, so it's like
regular.
HDR essentially is what that is, or true HDR. But like I don't like stack my footage, but I'll take different takes so I have different footage to work with. So like, because when I look at it in my camera, it's gonna look maybe a little bit different on my computer screen,
Yeah.
And then from my computer screen, it's gonna look different on someone's cell phone. So I look at all 3 before I'm like, okay, I'm gonna post.
No, that's actually really fucking smart.
Because say if I only do it once and I have like that one take, I'll be like, damn, it's like too light or it's too dark or too bright. If you do multiple takes on the same thing, like really quick, like maybe 5-10 second clips, then you have more to work with. That's why I have so many stacks and so many clips of everything.
That's why also if when I'm shooting with the gimbal now, it's like really hard for me to switch the settings.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like
because you have to like go in, you can barely see the screen because this whole mounts in front of your face.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's so much to this, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that is the cool thing about learning, like, or seeing how video works. Because when I first started doing video, I was like, oh shoot, like whenever I hit the record button, like I can't change settings within the recording of it, And then now, like obviously just doing it more, I realize that like why can't I, So like the camera will handle it. So if I'm like starting to shoot and it'll look like overexposed, I'll just like dial it down and like in the recording, and you'll even notice that in some of the stuff like that I have, like you'll just see like and it'll just like dim real quick, and you're just like, where'd that come from? But I'll try to hide it with like a transition or something like that, so you don't see it. Or
just like when you're editing too, because like I've done that too, where it's I drop it and all of a sudden like you see it's like really underexposed, and then usually I'll stop the footage right there. Or I mean, what I also do too is it's like kind of like a little cheat. Say if you want to like stretch out a clip, say if I only recorded for 10 seconds and I'm like, fuck, I need this for 15 seconds. You slow it down. That's all you gotta do is slow it down. And then you can drag the meter of how many percentage you want to, edit with or whatever, and then you match it right onto the beat.
Yeah.
Where's your 10-second rule come from? Because I feel like you talk about doing 10-second
I don't really
clips.
know where I adapted that from, to be honest. Like, I don't like strictly like, all right, 10 seconds only. I do a minimum of 10 seconds. So like all my clips, they're going to be over 10 seconds always.
But it's a minimum. Okay.
Minimum of 10 seconds. Yeah. Just because like, once again from weddings, like I don't want to miss that one shot or that one thing. And I have at weddings and I have at different gigs. So like, it's just not like, just so I know for a fact I got it, and it's a peace of mind, to be honest.
For me, like when I do a minimum like 30 seconds or a minute.
Okay, yeah.
So that's was my whole thing, but that caused me to shoot less because I don't want so many minutes.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I don't want hella videos.
Yeah. So that's why I try to get like
just
what I need, which sounds kind of like, I guess kind of sketchy because people are like, oh, you're only getting like little clips here and there. But like if it's a speech or someone's like, talking about something that I think is like really interesting, or I'm like in my head, I'm like, yeah, people might like actually want to like pay attention to this online, I'll record longer or whatnot. Like this conversation and stuff like that, the little highlights, like I just, in my head when I'm like thinking in video mode, I'm thinking highlight,
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like when I record way too much, and I don't know how to not record so much.
I mean, I record hella too, you know what I mean? Like, it's just depending on how you do it and what's your workflow. Because I mean, like my workflow might not work for like how you guys edit, and your style of editing might not work for me, you know what I mean? But I think it's whatever kind of like, whatever works for you, that's how you get it out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I know I overshoot with photos, and that's like, I was telling you, like, the next show I'm doing, I'm not even going to touch my photo settings. I'm just going to do video only, because photos for me is like a crutch right now, because like I know I can do it. I know I could be good at it, right? So it's like...
But you want to be good at something else. You want to expand.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be kind of cool to do both, you know what I mean? Because I think that's how... I mean, I got a camera that does both, you know what I mean? So why not use like both sides of the sword, so to speak, you know what I mean?
And especially too, if you like it, then, keep doing it.
That's why you got to get the other harness. You got to get another. Dude, what's your feeling about having a B cam with you at shows, or having like a set or 2 cameras?
Man, if I had the money, I would, like... You
have to match it. That's the only problem. See, I would get another camera. I don't know if I would get a Lumix, but the Lumix are super cheap right now.
Okay.
Like the S5 II, you could get like a used one for like probably like $1,300.
It's not bad.
Just the body. But you could also get like the S5, like the original one that doesn't have like good autofocus. you could get the body for that for like less than 1,000 easily, like probably like $700-$600.
Yeah, which seems a lot more affordable too.
And you could just do that and just set that up as like a main, like behind, because it has literally the same features, and you could just like no time limit and all shit like that. But I was thinking, like, what if like that's an idea, so you could have like that long form shot. We could have something where
something in the back.
You don't have to be switching focus all the time. You just have it like where you want it at, and then having that, so you don't have to worry about getting that, you know.
Something on the tripod, and then just like record on there too.
I've been thinking about wanting to do that, especially for apps of some of the show, because I really want, like, because I saw someone do that at Brick and Mortar. They just had one big camera in the back, and then they were moving around in the front, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So you can have
summer they did that too. Someone had a tripod, that camera was in the middle.
That's like perfect. That you could just throw it on like a you know, like tripod or whatever, and then like have that for the YouTube for like the big long version performance, and then
recap that'll be easy to upload, because you just grab the SD card, boom, color correct, upload.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, I like that style.
Yeah,
I like doing that, but then I also like the rush of going in and like trying to get in with everyone else, and
that's what I like, bro. I like just mobbing through the crowd. Like, you see me just always like going around and about, bro.
At the museum show. Yeah, it's hella funny because me and him both, for the California Science Academy that we got invited to by FNG DJ. So shout out FNG for show.
Yeah, family, not a group.
But yeah, they invited us out, and it was hella funny because we both go out there and we both started off at the like side of the stage. You know, and I think we both got like a couple shots, and we just like looked at each other and we're like, nah. And then like he went out, and then I both went out, and we kind of like moving around. He got like real into the stage, like into the crowd, because he like was getting those shots. And I was like, man, fuck this. I got my 70-200. I'm gonna go to the back area, zoom in. You know,
and it was a perfect platform too, where like the I think it was the audio mixer and everything. Yeah, they're all back there. So like we even asked them, we're like, hey, can we like stand right here? And they're like, yeah, go for it.
So it was like, it was kind of cool, like, so it was like nice, but it's definitely funny because you're talking to like, he gets into the crowd, and I'll do it, but I'm like, ugh, like, get away from me, get away from me.
Nah, bro, I hella like it. Especially on the Russell show, bro, I was in the crowd just like hella dancing with people, and I was like recording and shit.
But you got that sick shot, I think, because you said you got one where he like walked right up to you, right?
Yeah, he was like literally right there, and he was looking at the camera, and then he dapped up that dude or whatever, and then he was like rapping with somebody else. So it was like,
I was like,
that's what
I found with artists. If you have a camera at them, they'll go to you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not for sure. Yeah,
they'll come up. I love that. Sometimes even grab your hand and shit too.
I was gonna say then even on the other end of that too, like kind of what I ended up doing in that same show. You have a camera, you know, you might have chances to get into different places, you know, because I ended up just like getting like, he has it like on this little clip that he just posted. I'm like tucked like dummy in the back there, you know, because like I was there and I was talking to one of the guys, and I was like, hey, like, can I get back there? And he's just like, dude, like, I'm not gonna say no, you know what I mean? Like, get your shot then, you know? So I was like, all right, like, shoot, if you're gonna allow it, then sure. So I literally like behind the stage, you know, probably where I shouldn't be, but you know, it's like, if they're not gonna say no, you know, and it's like, I kind of had seen LaRussell and his people, so I think they like know my face, you know, so they're not like, oh, who the fuck is that guy? But it was still just like this, I probably shouldn't be here, but I was like, you know what, like, I'm gonna go places that like people can't, because I think as a photographer, I think that's like what, you know, we're kind of not what we're taught, but that's kind of what we want, you know, is we're trying to look for a shot that like no one else is getting. So it's like, when I could get back there and like literally be behind the stage, you know, and like at the level of them and stuff like that, you know, I think I can get shots that people don't have. But
how did you get into filming tonight for DJ or for Pauly D?
Oh shit, yeah.
How the fuck did you get that?
Yeah, dude, Pauly D.
Lightweight random, right? So well, not really, I guess, but shout out to my boy Mario E. If you click this, like, tag Mario E, that's my boy for sure. I was just texting him a minute ago. I met him through my homie Zach. Shout out to Zach Fees, super dope producer. They both make music. They're both crazy talented. So we ended up linking up. Zach was like, hey, my boy Mario's going to be DJing at Temple. And I remember going to Temple back in the day, like when in my party days, you feel me? Like,
everybody went to Temple.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, City Nights, dude.
If you know Temple, yeah.
Never been. I worked across from Temple forever, and I've never been inside.
It's either like a love or hate thing.
Yeah, it's
like,
either Temple or City Nights.
I didn't know what it looks like in there. Is it dark in there?
Yeah, but like they have this like neon lights and shit that go over for like the raves and stuff. Like, it's sick. Temple, I fuck with Temple. Love you, Temple. So so they ended up, like asking me to come out to a couple shows, and then I ended up meeting like a few different DJs and stuff. And me and Mario, bro, just like I feel like he's like the homie now. Like I've only known him maybe a couple months or something like that, but still. And he just invited me out, and then I put out the video for Rich the Kid and Ty Dolla $ign. That was at Temple. And as soon as I put that out, that video spazzed and like started doing numbers, and then hella people started hitting me up. And then Temple hit me up, and they're like, hey, like, we need you to come out to more shows, like, you know, come through. And then I was like, yeah. And then it kind of dried out because Temple was about to shut down.
Oh, I know. That's what it was. Like, I heard.
Bro, so I ended up shooting. I was there. And Mario was spinning too. Mario was the last one to touch the set. At least we thought he was.
Yeah.
Before they closed. Like, we were there at the closing night.
Yeah, they closed like on May 27th
Yeah,
or something.
we did that last show, and I got, you know, the footage of that and everything. And I don't think I did anything with that. I mean, I made a video for Mario too, but I don't think I did anything with the closing night. So then it just died down. All of a sudden, they ended up getting some money and getting back up and running and shit. And then, Josh D Presents, shout out to Josh. He hit me up and he was like, hey, I like your work and stuff. He was doing a sobriety event. I think a sobriety or mental health in the music industry and stuff, because, you know, there's tons of substance abuse and a lot of shit with this music stuff. So he invited me to that event, and then ended up meeting Lucas there. And Lucas is like Temple's, like, I think coordinator for all these events and everything. Yeah. And then he was leaving that day, and like he wasn't even at the event, wasn't a part of that event. He was just in the building and leaving. And then Josh was like, hey, this is the guy that did the Ty Dolla $ign video. And he was like, yo, that's like one of our biggest videos we've ever had on our like Instagram and website and everything. And I was like, fuck, cool, man, like, thank you. And he was like, we're shooting Pauly D in a couple weeks, you're gonna come? I'm like, all right, I'll be there. And so that's how I'm shooting Pauly D tonight, bro.
That's hella sick.
Long ass story,
Jersey
but you know,
Shore, dude.
No,
I had to try to plug everyone that led me up to that point.
That's hella sick.
Yeah,
are you gonna keep doing more work with them, or
Temple? Yeah, bro. I'll do I'm just waiting for Temple to be like, hey, like, you're our video guy. You feel me? Like, because I know I can do it. They know I can do it.
When I was talking to, I told you guys about Rick and Morty, how the guy was like,
that too.
I was
man.
like, be down to like just find artists and we could just like do something hella sick for them and just put it on, because you could use that as like, hey, look, this is what we do for venues and boom, 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 and that's how you create that and get plugged on more. So I'm telling you, that'd be really sick. But I think we're at the point where we're gonna have to end this.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was a good first pod. So
yes,
absolutely.
Oh wait, idea before, since the camera's on, I might forget this idea, but the next show we shoot, say if it's like anybody's show, we should do a podcast the following day about the show and like what we liked and didn't like. So I think that'd be pretty sick. You know what I mean? Like a follow up of like recaps and footage and photos, and then plus a podcast to go with it.
I think that would be really cool to like focus our podcast about that, you know, like behind the scenes about shit. And
I was telling him too,
since we shot on and stuff too. Yeah,
since we're all speaking of ideas right now, I think it'd be cool too if like we had it to where, because I was telling him like we should have it to where we could kind of show our footage, because we have all this like unused footage, all of us, you know.
I have so much.
We're just like, we're like, how do we get this? How do we get anybody to see this? You know, so it's like if we could get it to where we could have it hooked up to your TV here, so that way like during the podcast live we could watch it, you know, and we could like comment on it, talk about it on the camera. But then like when you're putting it together, like put the little picture of us, like us in the corner now, and then put like the actual video live on the big screen.
Dude,
so
that would be so sick.
So that way we're like, oh yeah, like, oh, do you remember that? Like we were there playing.
So it
like,
shows the clip underneath us or something like that. As we're looking.
I think
for sure.
like as we start to do more stuff together, I would love to start focusing on the sound. I want to get more into sound, as far as like I do want to do video and everything else too, but I know that you guys have really great qualities and skills that you guys are doing, and I feel like I want to add to it, and I feel like the way I can add to it is by focusing on getting sound of the venue and everything, and by using like some zooms and hooking up to the PA or to the like the mixture of whoever is doing
even the
sound,
crowd like cheering and stuff like that, all those
holding a boomstick in the back and you can see me right there.
Exactly.
I really want to focus on that part. I think that would be amazing to get like the crispness and stuff because I feel that's lacking from a lot of people that do videography, is like getting quality sound.
Audio,
because I fuck like audio is like one of the big things for me. If a video has shitty audio, I won't watch it.
Absolutely.
And that's just how it is. You could be a crappy video.
Videos that probably spaz out on views because quality now is like, I don't know.
I mean, that's why I got a Rode mic myself, you know, because I just, you know, if I'm gonna hit the record button, you know, I might want to use a live clip. So
I got the Rode mini one, so that's perfect for like what I do. I mean, it's not the it's not the $300 Rode mic, but
it still gets audio, man.
It's better than the camera mics. The camera mics are ass.
Yeah,
that's the problem. But yeah, I don't know. We're spinning ideas, but I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, what are we gonna go with? What's the name?
I don't know yet.
I don't know yet either.
I'm still down for Pink Lamp or BTS Boys or whatever.
BTS Boys is up there for me.
The PL podcast.
Yeah, Pink Lamp or Pink Light podcast. I think sounds
Pink
tight.
Light or Pink Lamp. I don't know.
Oh, Pink Lighter. Did you say Pink Lighter?
I mean, no, but shoot, like Pink Lighter, like, and then we just come on here and spark up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
but yeah,
intro.
We're just a bunch of Lumix fanboys over here.
Yeah.
Canon.